Okay. Hello, cheapskaters. Welcome, welcome. Oh gosh. Sorry, guys. Welcome to our channel. My name's Kat, and I created the Cheapskates Club a little over 23 years ago. That's a long time. And it was after disaster struck. And friends and family were asking how we managed to live the way we were. We seemingly didn't have any major changes to our lifestyle. At the Cheapskates Club, our goal is to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing. And I've been sharing how my family has managed to do that for almost 24 years. I started the Cheapskates Club specifically to share how we tackled the overwhelming at times debt that we had. And it wasn't frivolous debt. It was the mortgage. It was the electricity bill, even back in those days, the gas bill, the water bill, the council rates, those things. How we managed uncertain incomes, because there were times we didn't know from one day to the next whether either of us would have work. How we managed to raise our family during that time, and how we dealt with the unexpected chronic health issues that popped up out of the blue and that were quite devastating. But most of all, I shared how we managed to maintain the lifestyle that we liked, that we wanted to live. And it was all done on a very small, very limited income. Even for 23 years ago, our income at the time was very, very small. So if this is your first time visiting our channel, welcome. I hope I don't turn you off by saying all that. I hope that you've come here and you feel encouraged when you leave. And of course, if it's not your first time visiting, just know that you're welcome and I'm happy to be back. I've missed you guys the last couple of weeks. We have live chat on and there's already lots and lots of comments. So hi, Greg Evans, super early. You certainly were. And then Tabitha. Hi, Delaney. Guys, see Delaney. Her name is in blue and she's got a little spanner next to her name because she's special. She is our YouTube channel monitor and moderator. And she does a brilliant job. She just does a brilliant job. So make her life easy tonight so she can sit back and relax and enjoy the show too. And just remember to keep your comments polite. We all have different opinions. And guess what? We are all entitled to our different opinions. So just remember to be polite. Hello, Paula. Michelle Smith. Hi, Barb. How are you feeling? Hi, Tegan. Hello, Kylie. I was looking through some old tips today that I came across in my notes, Kylie, and one of them was from you. And I thought, that's a really good tip. It might pop up in the newsletter in the next few weeks, so keep your eye open. It was relevant at the time, and it's still relevant. Hi, Cheryl. Please give your darling husband our best wishes for his birthday. I saw he had a special birthday. Hello, Sandra. Hi, Beverly. Hello, Sylvia. Hi, Estelle. How are you going? Hello, Annabelle. Glad you're here with us. You'll be able to join in and share some wisdom too, I'm hoping. Hello, Maureen. You can share some wisdom too. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Isabella. Oh, thank you. My hair looks nice. Hannah finally was able to come last week. She came on a flying visit late Tuesday night. I stayed up past my bedtime. late Tuesday night, she came after work and cut it for me because she left again early Wednesday morning. So she was only sort of here for her bed, but she cut it for me. I don't have the patience. Now I am slightly older than I used to be. I don't have the patience to stand in the bathroom with brushes and curling wands and blow dryers and tongs and product and stuff like I used to when I was younger. I don't. So keeping my hair short so I can wash it and go makes me very, very happy. And if you think it looks nice, that's a bonus. Thank you so much. Hello, Emma. Hello, Kelly. Okay. Hello, Yvonne. Oh, you're in Wellington, windy Wellington. Very nice. I like Wellington. And you're a couple of hours ahead of us too, so you're doing well. Hello, Lucinda, Leonie, Eve, Aradia, Evelyn. Okay. All right, I've said hello to everyone. We've got 67 people watching. Now, I'm going to ask for 67 thumbs ups, and I know it's early. You can go back if you decide later on you don't like it and unthumb me. But when you give us a thumbs up, that tells YouTube that you actually like what I'm talking about. You like what the channel is about. And if YouTube thinks our channel is liked, it promotes our channel. And you know what I'm going to say, because I say it all the time. The easier it is for people to find us, the easier it is for us to spread the message about living the cheapskate's way, and that it is absolutely, and it still is, even in April 2025, absolutely possible to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing. We can do it. So those thumbs up would be absolutely brilliant if you could do that for me. And of course, interacting in the chat. The live chat's enabled. You do need to be logged into your Gmail account or your YouTube channel. That's a YouTube thing, not a cat thing. If you don't have either of those, don't worry. You can always leave comments below. Ask your questions below and on questions. If you do have one, put it in all capitals so it stands out in the chat for me. Because on my screen here, it flickers up and down and flies by really quickly. And I miss things that don't stand out, and I don't mean to. And Kelly's already did the thumbs up. First thing you do. Thank you. And Eve's got naturally straight hair. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. Now, my notes are everywhere because for the last, week or so, our world has been crazy again. I think crazy is just going to be the state of the world from now on. It's just going to get crazier and crazier, and people are going to get sillier and sillier and do dumb things. And we are just going to have to learn to live with it. We're going to have to be really good at adjusting on the fly so that we don't get caught out. And people have been absolutely paranoid about tariffs and things. So we need to take a step back. Personally, I think tariffs are a very immature way of dealing with the problem. But anyway, that's me. And tit-for-tat tariffs, even worse. What are they? 4 years old in the playground? You've got more marbles than me. I want your marbles. That's just daft. Tariffs don't actually do anyone any good. But we have to live with them. Hello, Homemakers Workshop. Are you new to us? If you are, welcome. Oh, yep, first time catching fresh spinach to frozen spinach. Yep. That's one of the things I had down to talk about in our cost of living, doing our groceries. And we might as well cover it now. Fresh fruit and vegetables are very expensive. Wayne's on a rockmelon kick at the moment. He's not well, so food doesn't taste the same to him. His medications upset his stomach, and so he's been on a rockmelon kick lately. Oh boy, $5.49 for one, and it wasn't. I cut it up, but it was little. It was a small rockmelon, and it's too late for me to plant them and grow them now. I was like, oh my goodness, can't get frozen rockmelon, but you can get frozen mango. You can get frozen berries. I use frozen berries a lot when I can't get fresh berries off my canes. Frozen veg is often really a good alternative, especially if you're a smaller household, singles, couples, or have little children. You don't use a lot of things that go off quickly: beans, spinach, cauliflower, broccoli, those sorts of things that can go within a couple of days. Frozen is often better value. Firstly, because you're not wasting it. It's in the freezer. It's convenient, so there's no waste. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. But often it's a little bit cheaper too. Now, let me see. What do you say? Spinach from Woolies, $2.83 a kilo, $4 a kilo frozen. It's ridiculous. And spinach is so easy to grow. So easy to grow. It's also one of the veggies that is often, mainly because it takes a lot of water, but is often on recall for bacteria and stuff too. But you can still get frozen collie and frozen broccoli, or the frozen collie broccoli mix at Woolies is good. Peas, corn, carrots, good old staple, Aussie staple. I use those a lot for in meat pies and pasties. I don't have to dice the carrots. They're already done and tip it in. They're really good. Those sorts of things. And again, because they're in the freezer, you don't have to worry about the waste. There is no waste on them. And I think frozen is slightly nicer than tinned. I do can carrots myself. I have canned carrots on my shelf, but I add some Moo French onion soup mix to the jar before I put the stock in, because otherwise they taste a bit bland. Sometimes carrots can be, and of course these have been processed under high pressure and high heat, so they're inclined to be more bland. Hi, Joy. You'll be exhausted. So looking for frozen veg and frozen fruit is often a good way to go. The other thing to do is narrow your choices. We are spoilt for choice in Australia. We have such a wide range of fresh fruit and vegetables available to us all year round, whether they're in season or not. They are available to us. That comes at a price. So we need to narrow our choices. Now, you might be able to see behind me there on the sink, there's a towel with a tray on top. That's 10 kilos of potatoes that I got for 60 cents a kilo. Bargain, rock bottom bargain price. Now, it would take us a while to go through 10 kilos of potatoes, but also they were brushed potatoes. And because they were so cheap, didn't actually say at the fruit shop, but I suspect that they were either older or had been in cold storage a bit too long. So I brought them home and I had them out, and I noticed that the bag was sweating. So we opened the bag up last night, let them breathe, and went through them this morning, and there were two that were starting to turn. So I think I was right in thinking that they were older and out of cold storage, which means I had to get them processed really quickly. Now, because they were brushed potatoes, I had to put them in a tub with water and scrub them all off. And then I've got them on the sink there, all nice and clean, but they're to dry. So in the morning, they'll be nice and dry, and I will be able to put them away in my Hessian bags, and they should last for a month or so like that. It's really important that you think of things like that. If you're going to buy in bulk, look for the bargains. I was ecstatic. $6 for 10 kilos of potatoes makes me very happy because my family love potatoes. They like mash. They like baked potato. They like shepherd's pie with potato on top. They like potato pancakes. They like potato salad. They like Hasselback potatoes. They like potatoes in chips and wedges. They just like potatoes. So we do go through quite a bit. I was ecstatic to get them for that price, but I knew I had to process them straight away. There's no sitting back and thinking about it with that sort of thing. So if you're going to do that, because I noticed for anyone in Melbourne's east, outer east, middle east, whatever we're called, Big Watermelon had boxes of tomatoes for 20 kilos, $20, which brought them down to $3 a kilo. So and they were nice tomatoes. They weren't sauce tomatoes. So that's a good price. But you need to process them, be able to process them straight away or share them with someone. That's the other thing that was in my note. Here we go. Got 83 people watching. Do I have 83 thumbs up yet? I don't know if I can do this. Let's see. I think we've sorted our technical issues too, folks. I'm a bit nervous. Okay, we've got 48 thumbs up. Okay. I think I've sorted the technical issues. I spent about 4 hours the other day digging deep. Anyway, I digress. Big Watermelon had the tomatoes. Find my notes. My notes are all over the place. I saw a thing here too. Big Watermelon is really good, Estelle, although it's not as good as it used to be. They did that big expansion and they went all fancy la and it's not as good as it used to be, which is a bit of a shame. Honey carrots in the pressure cooker. Don't do honey in there. No. If you're going to do honey carrots, do your carrots and add the honey and butter just before you serve them. The honey will burn. For the time, the temperature and the pressure, your honey will burn and they won't be nice. So don't put honey in your carrots if you're going to pressure can them. Which is why I do them in stock and a little bit of French onion soup mix. And I just use the Moo one off our website. So there's no odd fillers or anything in it to affect the processing. But honey is not, it will burn. $1.20 a kilo is good for carrots, Estelle. Yeah. Carrots keep for ages in the fridge. So, all right, there we go. I have noticed that, I saw something. Here we go. This is going to be a big one. Greg says, thank you. Last week I went shopping and took $100 cash. I normally tap and go. I added it up as I went around and it came to 155. So I put things back and it came to 98. I saved $57. Well done. That's the way to do it. And I think that going forward, we are all going to have to change the way we shop. I've noticed that I've changed the last 5 years. I've changed the way I shop immensely, but the last couple of months, probably the last 3 months, I've really been conscious of doing things differently. And I'm really, really, really hunting those bargains. Case in point, Campbell's cream of chicken soup was on sale for $1.80. That is, it's cheap. It's cheap. It was a good price for today. The last time I bought it, because I don't use it a lot, the last time I bought it was $1 a can. And that was about 3 years ago, was the last time I stocked up on it. And I think I bought 24 cans then, so it's taken me all this time to use it. I don't use it a lot. I usually grab a can if I haven't made it myself. So today I went and I got 12 cans from Woolworths for $1.80 to put in the pantry. Sometimes it's just nice to be able to rip that ring pull off and tip it in and not have to bother. Whereas normally, well, I was shopping once a year, I would have paid the price, it would have sat there, and that would have been it. I'm really conscious of that. I've been looking really closely at the Flyers, the Coles, the Woolies, the Aldi, even Save More for anyone in Melbourne, Dandenong, Noble Park, Springvale will know Save More. It's quite a way out of my way to go there. It's quite a journey to get there, but if the prices are good enough, especially for things that we use a lot of, butter, cheese, that sort of thing, it's worth my while doing it. I'm really conscious of those things, and it means I have to put more effort into doing my shopping. We are all going to have to put more effort into doing our shopping if we want to stick to our budget. All right, I'll just keep going. Yep. I love canning pumpkin. I just cut it up, pop it in the jar. I always put stock over the top of it because then I can either use it for mash, or I can put it into scones, or I can use it for soup. Doesn't matter, and keep it. And I tend to do pint jars, Kylie, because most of the time it's just Wayne and I eating it, or Hannah and I if it's soup. So a pint jar is enough. When the kids were little, I used to do it in quart jars, but now it's just pints for us. And I was able to get pumpkin for $1 a kilo, weeks and weeks and weeks ago. So I did a whole lot then. I've got 2 pumpkins sitting in the laundry, 2 more pumpkins to do. I've got a list over on the fridge of things that I need to do this week. Not going to all happen this week, but one of them is fruit cakes, pumpkin soup, casserole pats. I need to make some jam. I've got oranges to make marmalade, processing the potatoes. I've got to do hot cross buns. I've got to do hot cross knot buns, and 2 Krispy Kreme cake, 2 mixes of Krispy Kreme cake for the weekend. So I will be busy, but I'll keep a list out. The prices, Estelle, it wouldn't be worth the petrol, but the prices depends what you want. Okay. Selena says they've changed their eating habits and reconsider if Costco is actually worth it. Interesting discussion going on the Costco pages about people finding Costco is actually not worth it. They've cut their range. They've cut their Costco, their was it Kirkland range? A lot of things that were Kirkland have gone, which means that they have brand names now, and while they might be cheap, they're not that cheap. They're just, yeah, a lot of people saying it's just not worth it. I'm not a huge fan of Costco, firstly, because you have to pay for the membership. Secondly, because they import a lot of stuff that we really can supply here easily. And their prices, if you don't shop on a budget like we shop on a budget, I have my monthly allowance for groceries and I have to stick to it. If your budget is fluid and you can spend $300 or $600 or $1,200 for the month and it's still within budget, that's fine. But I find Costco very expensive for their meat. Their mince has gone up to $10.99 a kilo. Chicken fillets I can get cheaper at Australian butchers or Tasman on sale. So I don't buy chicken fillets from there. I don't buy whole chickens from there. I wait till they come on sale at either of those stores. Sometimes Woolies will have whole chickens on sale and I can stock up then. That's a really good deal. The other thing is it's just really expensive. I'm $40 a kilo or $39.95 a kilo for steak might be cheaper than the butcher, but it is still a lot of money for 1 kilo of steak. And I know that 1 kilo of steak would be 5 to 6 serves, but who really, apart from us, actually gets the scales out and cuts the meat down into those portions, those recommended 180 to 200 gram portions? They just go, fuck, that's it. So the meat is very expensive, but it's personal preference, I suppose. We might need to change the way we eat meat. Well, we eat meat, but it's mince, the odd leg of lamb now. Sometimes if roasting beef is on sale, I will get some and roast that up. Most of the time it's chicken because I can get that is cheap enough, and there's a lot you can do with chicken, a lot you can do with mince. So I don't know that we'll be changing those things too much. I'm not sure that I'll be cutting down the serves. I'm still watching the portion control for each meal, although if I'm using mince, I use 500 grams and 2 cups of TVP to equal a kilo of mince. So I do that with the mince, or baked beans are really good to add to your mince. If you've got a food processor, rinse them, take the tomato sauce off them because it changes the colour, and it doesn't bother me, but it might bother someone. And then whiz the baked beans in your food processor so they're chopped up like the little granules in the mince. And once you've mixed it through the mince with the sauce or the gravy or whatever, nobody knows that it's baked beans in there. And they're an excellent source of so many things that adding baked beans to your diet on a regular basis is a good thing. And they're also cheaper. Aldi baked beans, $1.79 a can. They've gone up heaps. They've gone up heaps. But $1.79 a can is still cheaper for the Aldi baked beans. And they're much nicer than the Woolies or the Coles store brands, and a lot cheaper than your SPC or whatever. So the Aldi baked beans in the blue with the blue label are just delicious. Don't get me started. Well, I'm not buying Easter eggs, Maureen. NQR has, I think it's Lifesaver chocolate for $2 a block. If you're in Victoria, NQR is a discount grocer. They sell end of runs, close to use buys or best befores, odd packaging, sometimes seconds or whatever. of foods and can be very, very cheap for basics if you want them. So look them up, and they're opening new stores too, which is really good to hear. So if you're in Victoria, look for an NQR. Get onto the website so that you get sent their newsletter so you know what the specials are and plan them. Specials come out twice a week, and plan your shopping around that if you can. But if I'm just buying them $2 blocks of chocolate. Oh, seriously? They're like adults. And really, I'm pretty sure if I asked Hannah, she'd say she'd rather have the $2. So, all right. So, alrighty, is trying to buy a fruit and veg at the greengrocer. If you find a butcher that does good bulk buys, share it over on Cheapskates Chatter. That was the other thing I was going to suggest, that if we find a good deal, share it. Put it in Cheapskates Chatter. Put what it is, where it is, how much it is. The where it is really important because, of course, we're spread all over the place. So, you know, I can say NQR's got $2 Lifesaver chocolate for $2. But if you're in Northern Territory or New Zealand or Canada or Japan, that's not going to help you. And we do have cheapskaters in all those places. So we need to be aware of that. If you would just put what it is, how much it is, and where it is, that would really help. Because the more we can share, the more empowered we are, and the more we have control of where our grocery dollar goes. And that's really important, really, really important, especially at the moment. Yep, unit pricing is good. Eggs are still in really short supply, Estelle. Really, really in short supply, and it's getting beyond a joke. Delaney's been buying predominantly clearance. Yep. I bought some clearance stuff today. I popped it in the freezer. Has anyone been to the new Costco, the one at Ardea? It looked atrocious on opening day. But the specials at the new Costco are at the other Costcos too, so you don't necessarily have to go to the new Costco to get those specials, although it is much bigger. I'm thinking that just means there's carry twice as much of the same stuff. Ah, yeah. Pint jars. I have plenty of pints. If you're struggling, Kylie, the pasta jars, the 500 ml pasta sauce jars, process those for a pint time. If you've got lug lids, that's great. You can get lug lids online quite cheaply, and they will work as pints in your canner. What else is there? Wow, I don't buy jam, so I wouldn't know, but that's a good thing to point out, Beverly. Jam jars have shrunk a lot. Everything shrunk. Do you remember, those of you who have been around for a while might remember the show I did with Current Affair on shrinkflation, and we had actually just a few weeks before gone and bought stuff, and then we had the stuff it was probably about a month later, and it actually had, not only had the price gone up, but the volume had gone down. It was like a double hit, that show. Yeah, it's really important to notice these things. Keep your price book up to date. And I don't care whether it's, in a fancy schmancy planner, or if it's on a notebook on your phone or a piece of paper in your purse. for your basics, but keep it up to date so that you know when it's a good deal. Now, with the Campbell soup today, I mentioned that to the girl, that it was actually a really good deal and it hadn't been that cheap for quite a while. And she said, oh, it's because they're trying to clear it out. They're rebranding, not rebranding from Campbell's, but changing the labels and things. Gosh, seriously, guys, would you like to just ring them up and say, stop with all that garbage, keep it the way it is. We don't need a fancy new label. We just want value for money. Why should we have to pay for a new label? It's driving me nuts. And it happens all the time. Often you'll see stuff pop up in NQR or reject shop. For that reason, it's been the labels changed, or the size of the packages changed, or the color of the fonts changed, or something. Yep. Cheryl's grocery shop looks very different. No processed or junk food. It's too expensive, and you can make it. Load up on veggies to fill the plate with smaller meat portions. Yeah. Yep. I think that's what we will all be doing. We're going to have to make some changes. We can't get away from it. We are going to have to do it. Now, we can sit back and twiddle our thumbs and moan and groan and say, poor me, or we can be proactive and actually do a pantry inventory, know what we've got, know what we need, check out what we absolutely need as opposed to what is nice to have. Like, do we really need 4 different types of flour? Do we really need, 12 different spices? 1 or 2 would do. Cut them back, make those decisions, and then plan around those things. And if we plan them, use them as ingredients, we have so many more options. So we can still eat really well. We can still have all the things that we really like, but we are not buying stuff that we actually don't need and probably really don't want, that could be wasted. So in those changes, it might mean a little less Facebook time, or it might mean a little less TV time, or it might mean a little less knitting time or dog walking time or something for a couple of weeks until you've got it down, until you know what it is. But once you've got it in place, then you can just work it, and the tweaks will happen on the fly. You'll be able to do that on the fly. You won't have to sit down for hours and hours and hours and go through everything because it'll already be done. So, yeah, Costco is very tempting. It has all sorts of things. I can remember when Docklands here in Melbourne opened. I was there the day it opened. Never again. Only mad women do things like that. And I can remember being absolutely appalled. Absolutely appalled. They had a little thing of 6 little tiny madeleines, which are the little cakes, just little shaped cakes. And I was looking at them, and they were $6. So they're $1 each, $6 for the 6. And they were tiny. They probably wouldn't have been any bigger than a cupcake. And this lady came up and spoke to me. She's looking, she said, aren't they lovely? What a great price. And I just looked at her and I said, I could make 4 dozen for that price. And she just looked at me. I said, $1 each? That's not cheap. She was actually from Costco in America, and she was quite dismayed that I didn't think they were cheap. Talk about put your foot in that. And then I was talking to a journalist from the Weekly Times, and we're chatting away. And he said, what do you think of the egg prices? I went, oh, well, they're not too bad, but Aldi eggs just as cheap. And he goes, They come from New Zealand. Costco was importing eggs. We had egg farmers at the time, egg farmers struggling to stay in business because they couldn't sell the eggs, and Costco was importing eggs. Then we went into the refrigerated section where the all the berries and giant bags of salad and stuff are. And most of it came from the UK. It was imported. It wasn't even Australian. That really put me off. That really, really put me off. Now, I understand a lot of that has changed now and they don't do that anymore. But it really, really, really annoys me, or annoyed me and still annoys me, that we're being hounded, you know, on climate change and to watch our food miles. And you've got ginormous stores like that going, we don't have to follow the rules. And not only that, they're allowed to get away with it. That bugs the jeebers out of me. Really bugs me. It is not right. So I'm really conscious. That's one reason why I don't mind buying fruit and veg and fresh meat and dairy from Aldi. Most of it is local. Around about 95% of it is local. But not only is it local to Australia, but as much of it as possible is locally sourced to the store. So that's even better. And I love Aldi for that alone. Is really good. And I'm really a price shopper, not necessarily I'm not loyal to, you know, if it's the best price, I'm going to go for it. But it really bugs me, really, really bugs me when we can grow it here, or when we do grow it here, when we can make it here. It shouldn't be cheaper to import. It just shouldn't be. We should not be importing anything that we can grow or make here, in terms of food anyway. We just shouldn't. And we have plenty of, we have the ability to do that. So anyway, off my high horse, sorry. You've all heard it before. Yvonne makes soups from scratch. Yes. Still $9.99, Selena. Ours has gone up to $10.99. It really, really, really bugs me. I don't know why. I think because in my mind, mince is a cheap cut of meat. Like gravy beef is a cheap cut of meat, but $18 a kilo is not cheap. Not for gravy beef. Also, buco used to be a cheap cut of meat. Not anymore. Oh, if you have cannellini beans, use cannellini beans, but I rarely double up. So I just use baked beans, and I think you'll find most people have baked beans as opposed to cannellini beans. And you don't have to rinse them. I just rinse them because the tomato sauce changes the colour of the gravy slightly, and my fussy lot don't particularly like it if their food doesn't look right. And eating is very visual. We all know eating is very visual. It could taste amazing, but if it looks horrible, when it just puts us off. So it's just easier to rinse them. Fried rice, yep. My rice is very expensive, $2 a kilo. It's still, Maureen bought her chocolate a couple of months ago when it was on sale. I don't know that New South Wales misses out. I think that New South Wales people just don't share as much. And I think that, well, we've got NQR, which is a chain, There's not necessarily chains of discount grocers in other states. Hi, Krista. Easter eggs in Aldi Bay, most of them. That's right, you just had Easter celebrations early. I looked at meat online when she mentioned it, Kylie, but boy, well, the per kilo was fine, but you have to buy it by the case. And that, like $400, that's a lot of money for one particular type of meat. It was, I did look at it, but you've got like 40 kilos. And while if it's cheap enough and I have the freezer space to store it until I can can it, I will do that sometimes. Forking out, to buy mince and roasts and chicken and something else to make it worthwhile is close to $2,000, and that's a big hit all at once. And I didn't actually think their prices were that cheap, but then I might be spoilt for price. I'm a bit fussy. Costco petrol is very cheap, and I'm thinking, were they saying that you don't need to be a member to shop at Costco petrol? Now I know the Idea store has the 38 Bowsers or something. It's the biggest in Australia or the Southern Hemisphere or some such thing. What would be a few tips to help get through a cost of living crisis we can all adapt? Okay, don't be precious. Don't be precious about brands. Don't be precious about what you eat. Don't be precious. Don't go, I only eat organic, homegrown, organic, yellow beetroot. Just buy beetroot. In a cost of living crisis, if money is that tight, you can't afford it. Pick what's important to you, but seriously, look it up. If it's really important to you to have the homegrown organic yellow beetroot, you're going to have to give up something else. And that's what it boils down to. If it's a true cost, if you are really struggling, it's a true cost of living crisis, you're going to have to give something up. You can't have it all. Don't believe the marketing. You cannot have it all. If you are really, really struggling, you're going to have to make hard changes, really hard changes, and you're going to have to give up things. And if you're finding that you can't give up on food, then you're going to have to find the money from somewhere else. So you're going to have to sit in the dark. You're going to have to go to bed earlier. You're going to have to cut your phone plan back a notch to save a few dollars a month. You're going to have to use the cheapest internet plan. You're going to have to be really savvy about what you do. Hunt down the cheapest petrol in your area and only drive when you absolutely have to. Find that money from somewhere else. Because I can say go through your house and sell stuff, but you can only do that once. It's not a continual thing. Whereas if you can find ways to cut your phone, cut your water, cut your electricity, cut your gas, cut your fuel usage, find those things and stick to them, then those are ongoing savings that you're always going to have. Does that make sense? So you're going to have to, if it's a true cost of living, if you're really, really struggling, you're going to have to give something up. It might be your favorite brand of tea, which would be heartbreaking to me, but I've done it. I've been where we couldn't afford my favorite tea, so I've had to drink cheaper tea. Did I enjoy it? No, which was all right because it meant I didn't drink as much of it, so it lasted longer. But you're going to have to do that. You have to cut back. It might mean no new clothes, not even op shop clothes. No, really, learn to do your own haircuts. We should all be doing that anyway. But especially if you've got little children, home haircuts are so much easier and so much cheaper. Things like that. If you've got pets, you're going to have to find a way to feed them so it doesn't cost as much. Get their worm tablets or whatever cheaper. Find those things, all those little things, because you're going to have to, we all will have to make changes. Now I've got a list here I found. Let me see. When you're shopping, check the use by or best before date in the package. If it's out of date, don't buy it. No, if it's out of a use by date, don't buy it, because use by is different to best before. If it's past the best before and it's not already marked down, take it to the service desk and get them to mark it down. And it should be easily marked down 50% if it's past the best before date. Technically, they shouldn't be selling it to you. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Don't buy food you won't eat. I think we covered this, didn't we? But don't buy cuts of meat that you won't eat. That's I accidentally picked up pork chops a few weeks ago. We don't eat pork, so I had to pass it on. They were marked down, and I think I got excited because it was marked down a lot, which is obviously because it was pork. And the label was actually, the discount label was actually over what it was. I just saw that it was steak and picked it up. It wasn't until I got home that I realized it was pork. So don't buy stuff that you won't eat. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of freezer space. It's a waste of electricity. It's a waste of your time. Don't do it. And while we're on markdowns, just because it's marked down doesn't necessarily mean it's a bargain. Check the unit price. If it's over your limit, don't buy it. Check the unit price and compare it to other brands to see if it actually is cheaper. And check the shelf price and the scan price. If you're buying reduced to clear meat, especially poultry and seafood, make sure that the wrapping is intact. No holes, it's not leaking, whatever. If the cling wrap around it or the plastic around it is torn, don't buy it. For fresh food, don't buy more than you can use before it's going to go off. Now, cheese, hard cheeses, soft cheeses. I got soft cheese in Philly cheese last week that's good till January next year. That will sit in my fridge and we will use it through the year. But if it had a short date on it, because it's a soft cheese, I won't use it too far past the best before. I wouldn't have bought as much because we wouldn't have been able to use as much. And if you're going to buy in bulk, make sure you're able to either share it with others so it's not wasted, or freeze it, or dehydrate it, or pressure can it as soon as you get it home so that nothing is wasted. And if you're buying in bulk and you're the only one that's going to be using it, don't buy so much that you cannot get it preserved within 24 to 48 hours, depending on what it is. Because otherwise, again, that's a waste of money and a waste of effort. Always check your chiller cabinet. Sometimes there are some good bargains in there. And often there'll be things that can be frozen. Cream. Where was I the other day? No, I'll say the other day. It was probably a couple of weeks ago now. Aldi. It was Aldi, and they had 3-litre bottles of low-fat milk for $1.40 a bottle. It was less than the price of a litre, $1.40 a bottle, because it had to be used that day. I brought home 3 because that's all I had freezer room for. But that sort of milk, if you can do that, that makes great cheese. It will make yogurt, which extends the life of it again, so you don't have to freeze it straight away if you can do that. We need to be always thinking, how can I use this? If this is a really good bargain, how can I use it? How can I use it to save my family some money? What else? And then there's all the usual things that we do when we're going shopping. Shop at home first. Check your pantry, your fridge, your freezer. Make a list and stick to it. Try generic products. They're changing all the time. They change from one batch to the next. So, buy one. If it's really good, you can buy more. If you don't like it, go back to your next cheapest brand. Buy in season as much as possible. And here I would say, do your very best to grow as much as you can. We were in the forum the other day, and someone was saying they're not even allowed to grow veggies. She's in units with a balcony, and she's not even allowed to grow veggies on her balcony in pots. Well, you know what? I'd be doing it anyway. I'd be doing it anyway. That's just ridiculous. Grow what you can. And the old thing used to be, even if it's just a few herbs, if you don't use herbs, don't grow them. If you do use them, grow them. But lettuce, silver beet, English spinach, perpetual spinach, all those things can be grown in pots, and they don't need to be big pots. I have rhubarb in pots. I have 3 pots of rhubarb. 3 pots of rhubarb going now. It's really good. We eat a lot of rhubarb, but in pots, I do as much as I can in pots. It's easier. It is just easier. I still have my big garden beds, but I use a lot of pots too. If you don't have pots, use bags. Use grow bags, and you can make your own grow bags. The instructions for that are on our website. So you can just log in and go to town making your own grow bags. Don't be conned into thinking bigger is always cheaper. People think bulk automatically equates to less expensive. Bulk means more. Bulk just means more. It doesn't mean cheaper. By default, we would think that if we were buying more, because we are taking more of that, we would get it at a slightly cheaper price. But that does not always equate. It does not always equate. So bulk, don't be conned. Just because it's bulk doesn't necessarily mean it's cheaper. Case in point, the Nescafe. Let me go. Can I find one? I will often buy Nescafe in these big tins when they're on sale. $16 is a good price. Going up to $18, and I wasn't too keen on it. But this is 500 grams. Every now and then, the 250-gram jars come on sale, and 2 250-gram jars can be cheaper than 1 500-gram tin on sale. You need to know your unit price. You need to know the alternatives. This is a perfect example where bulk just means more, not necessarily cheaper. So I've lost where was I? Don't shop when you're hungry. That's an oldie, but honestly, it's true. Find your local bargain bin, grocery outlet, be it reject shop, NQR, cheapest chips, silly sollies. They all have grocery lines. Some of them are weird brands. Like I said, buy one and try it. You don't like it, you don't have to buy it again. If you like it, you can buy more if it's cheaper. Use them. And it's another change that we're going to have. It's another way we're going to have to change the way we shop. Shop the perimeter. We always need to do that because the middle aisles are just junk, 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 and more junk. What else have I got? Go to your ethnic grocers, ethnic supermarkets, ethnic health food shops, spice shops, that sort of thing, fruit markets, butchers are often a better price, especially for, I was going to say the more exotic things. They're only exotic to Australians, the spices, the herbs and spices, the different rices and things. If you want those, shop there. It's another change we might have to make, but they are everywhere. They are absolutely everywhere. And then weigh up the cost of convenience. Convenience comes at a price. So, you know, buying the already crumbed chicken schnitzels as opposed to doing them yourself, it almost doubles the price. Really, you're using your homemade breadcrumbs, some plain flour and an egg beaten with a little milk or a little cream if you've got it. That might add 50 cents. Hang on, an egg's 40 cents. So it might add 80 cents to the cost of your schnitzels as opposed, and you can see what you're getting, because I don't like buying already crumbed chicken and meat because you can't see what's underneath the crumbs. You just can't. And often it's not nice. I used to always, when we could afford to buy cutlets, I used to always buy them and crumb them myself. But I didn't like that the already crumbed ones were usually mostly fat. So you've got to ditch the convenience. Now, it doesn't really take long to do that. And I've done a couple of videos where I've shown you how in real time, how I prep stuff for the week. And it doesn't take long. It really doesn't take long. You just get in and do it. I think a lot of fluffing around and umming and ahhing and trying to be Pinterest worthy makes these simple things really difficult. You can see my kitchen behind me now. It's a disaster. There's nothing Pinterest worthy about this kitchen tonight. I've got potatoes over there. I've got a list full of stuff to do here. I've got tomatoes sitting here waiting to be dealt with. I've got lemons and oranges up here waiting to be dealt with. I was actually thinking I was going to do these while I was talking to you. If I fluffed around and made them all pretty and, you know, for the video, it would never get done. It would just never get done. The video would never get done and the food would never get dealt with. You just need to get stuck in and do it. Now, a classic or a prime example of this is Annabelle. You often see she's gone, oh, I had to do this, 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 and this. So she got stuck in and she made and she dealt with it. She had big boxes of veggies to deal with. So she did. It's a little trickier if you work outside the home. You've got to juggle your time. But again, you give up TV time or you give up Facebook time or whatever. Drink your cup of tea as you chop or peel or whisk to do those things, because you're only doing it once. It's not every night. It's just once to get it dealt with. And then you can sit back and relax. And you can breathe a little easier because you won't be stressing about the grocery bill. You won't be stressing about putting food on the table. Sure, we've got petrol in Truganina. Wow. Petrol's all over the place. This election campaign's been a bit of a joke, hasn't it? The other thing we can do to get through the cost of living crisis is not try to be galloping gourmet. Just eat good food. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It just needs to be healthy, tasty, and well cooked. Nicely served goes a long way towards it too. But choosing elaborate meals can be really stressful anyway. But if it's a really elaborate meal and you know your grocery budget is tight, that makes it worse. You don't really enjoy it. So pick meals that are pretty, let's say, basic. You know, most of us stick to the same between 35 and 40 types of different meals anyway that we seem to eat on a regular basis. In our house, it's probably not even that many because now I don't do all the cooking, so we eat the same stuff over and over each week, and I don't care because I'm not doing the cooking. But we tend to stick to those things. Now, I know in summer we eat lots of salad, and to us the salad is lettuce, tomato, cucumber, onion, pineapple, grated carrot, potato salad, coleslaw. Sometimes I'll do a pasta salad. If I do a pasta salad, we don't do the potato salad. We don't need two starches. I might do, and it might have chicken with it, or it could be cream cheese patties or fish cakes or meatballs or something like that. And we tend to eat those things on a pretty regular basis. Might throw in our roast on a Sunday. It's pretty easy. It's meat, potato, pumpkin, onion, whatever veg is in the freezer, gravy. It's pretty easy and basic. It's not elaborate, and I can do that without thinking. And even if we're having visitors, I can do the roast so almost without thinking about it. It's just habit now to do it. So if we take a step back, and we don't need to be dishing up slop. We don't need to be dishing up overcooked, grey, ugly, bleh. But just trim it back a bit, dial it down and make our meals a little simpler, a little fresher, and it will help a lot with the cost of living too. It will also, doing that also helps, will also help your power bill, your gas bill. You won't be running the dishwashers often. It's the spidering effects from little changes can have a really big impact. You know, we can do something big once, but if we do a little thing and another little thing and another little thing and keep doing those little things, the impact is actually much greater because it's ongoing. Annabelle says venison's good and healthy. It's really expensive to buy here, Annabelle. Cheryl's buying spices, nuts, dried beans online. Yes. Sometimes the postage is free. Yes. Hindustan doesn't do free postage interstate. It does around Melbourne. Four Brothers Foods, Two Brothers Foods. There's quite a few different places that will post out herbs, spices, lentils, beans, flour, rice, TVP, all sorts of things. So that's a really good idea. $19 a kilo at the butcher's for mint. Ouch. Yep, baked beans are great for bulking out taco mints. They really are. Baked beans are really versatile. I don't like, if you gave me baked beans on toast, I'd eat them, but under saffrons. They're not my favourite thing. But when I can toss them into a casserole or put them into a soup, If I'm going to put them into a soup, I just tip them in, sauce and all. I don't rinse them. Or into tacos. In fact, my original haystacks recipe is just baked beans and taco seasoning. And then we've got the shredded lettuce, diced tomato and cucumber, cheese, sour cream, corn chips or pita chips, whatever you want. And that was my original haystacks recipe. Someone who lives here, who shall not be named, got a bit fussy and decided he needed meat with his haystacks. So I started adding a bit of mince to it. Sometimes I don't add mince, I just use TVP. As long as it looks like it, he's happy. Wow, that was a great price for lamb, $8. But you do have to be a member for petrol. I didn't know that, Eve. I'm sure they said on the news that you didn't have to. I can't imagine a kilo, $60 for a kilo of chocolate. Yeah, okay. Well, tell Ron I'm laughing at the price of the chocolate. Oh my goodness, because I wouldn't buy it either. Krista, that's lovely. Freebie box. If you can grow extra, it'll go out there. That's a lovely idea. Very nice. Well done. Your neighbours will be cheering. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. 3 days a week. So Bub's off to daycare. You know what? You'll probably hate Bub, and she'll hate Bub in daycare. Daycare will probably be good for Bub. But that's sad if she'd really like to stay home. Yeah. There we go. That's true. I've been looking. We're still looking for country. I've been looking the last few weeks, Annabelle, again. So that's true. If you are not precious about your job, if you are prepared to just work for a living, to earn money, to support yourself and your family, Australia is full of opportunities for you. If you want to be precious and say, well, you know, I'm a neurosurgeon and I can't possibly, you know, type in data, or I can't possibly drive a tractor. And you know what? Western Australia, they are taking people and teaching them how to do it because they are short on people to drive the tractors. If you are not precious about that, if you understand that work is work, doesn't matter what you're trained to do, work is work. As long as it's honest and legal, you can hold your head up high and be proud that you are actually earning your money and not being precious about it. Australia has so many opportunities for you. And it's the same with where you live. It's all well and good to want to be, you know, close to the best schools and the biggest shopping centres and have all the conveniences or so-called conveniences of city living. But you find a really nice country town, and yes, you might have to travel a bit further to a hospital, or you might have to travel a bit further to a shopping centre. But basically, your day-to-day life is going to be 1,000 times better than anything you will get in the city. And I maybe shouldn't be saying that because people won't all of a sudden realise that the tree change that everyone did 5 years ago is actually worth it and start doing it again. Yep, cottage cheese from pastate milk, yogurt, sorry. Delaney says, Um, they only put on soft cheeses, they put a use by, simply because it's a soft cheese that can be different. 30% off women's clothes at Savers tomorrow's, folks. You need clothes for winter. That's the time to go. Okay. Goodness. Bye, Joy. I've gone over time. I didn't mean to. Estelle's planted celery. Yep. Sorry, folks. I'm just quickly, because we are way over. Oh, goodness, we are way over time. This is what happens when I don't get to talk to you for 2 weeks. Make friends with a farmer or make friends with a hunter. We have a friend who's a bow hunter. So it's every now and then we are blessed with some free meat. Again, it's not being precious about where it came from. Lots of people okay. Alrighty, time to go. We can get through this, guys. We can still thrive in this time. It just we have to change the way we think. We have to change our attitude, and we sort of need to listen to the news and then almost treat it with the contempt it deserves, because honestly, you just want to get them all and put them in the naughty corner. A whole lot of them. They're just these people who think that they get to dictate how the rest of the world lives, all need a good wake-up call. I don't know how to give it to them yet, but I'm working on it. If I find out, I'll let you know. It's really annoying that we have a country that is a land of plenty, and that plenty should be more than enough for our population, but it's not. And it's really it's really awful, because I can look back 45 years, 50 years and go, gee, we used to be happy with a block of Cadbury's fruit and nut and a bottle of Marchant's lemonade on a Saturday night, and Mum and Dad called it party night. And between the 4 of us, it was all of, we shared the lemonade and the block of chocolate. And if it was someone's birthday, we got chips as well. A packet of Smith's chips. And they had to be Smith's because Mum had something about the other chips. Anyway, and that was done on nothing. And we were happy with that. We didn't expect anything else. So maybe we get what we deserve. Maybe. I don't know. But I think we deserve better. And I know that we can do better if we change the way we think, and then put a little bit of effort into changing the way we shop, changing the way we use our pantries, and not being afraid to speak up and say to the people who want to know, who tell us they want to know, that's not good enough. One of my things, I was talking to a potential or a candidate in the last couple of weeks, and I actually said, no one has actually come out and said how they're going to fund any of these things they're doing. But in my rough little, from what I could find out mind, straight away, if GST was dropped on gas, electricity, water, telephone, internet, and fuel, because those things are as essential as fresh foods, if GST was dropped on those things, and then if the daily service fee on our electricity, gas, the service fee on water, I think there is, was dropped, most households would be close to $100 a week better off. That sounds much nicer than a $5 a week tax cut. Now, I understand that that lack of revenue will have to be made up, but so will all these other things that are just at the moment airy-fairy promises. Hannah and I were going over her bills. Her daily service fee for her electricity is more than double the usage fee. And then she's got GST on top of it. On just our electricity alone, if the daily service fee was dropped, we would be saving $365. It's actually $380 something because it's $1.008 a day or something. $365 a year will be staying in our bank account. And I have to say, they're going to say, but we need that money. Well, really? Because you're making a profit now. The power companies are making a profit now. It's a bit like everyone jumping up and down with Woolworths and Coles and saying price gouging. Someone needs to say price gouging on utilities too, because that's exactly what it is. And we're stuck with it. That would be a much better election. I'll tell you what, the party that came out with that would get my vote. Anyway. Alrighty, I am going to go. I will see you all next week. Yeah. Service charge on your utilities is a disgrace, as is paying GST on it. Absolute disgrace. And the party that came out and said we're going to do away with that would have my vote. I don't care who they are. I would vote for them. I'd hold them to it. I'd be the one up there in their faces the day after the election saying, okay, come on, show me how you're going to do it. But I would vote for them. And that is how simple it would be to get my vote to change. 5% house deposit isn't practical. It's just not practical. It sounds wonderful. For anyone that's struggling to get into a home of their own, it sounds amazing, but it's not practical. It gives them no equity in their home. They have nothing to fall back on. Anyway, but just saying, I will be back next week. Thank you so much for watching me. We've got 77 people watching, and how many thumbs up? Let me see how many thumbs up. So I want to see. 73 thumbs up. Woohoo! Thank you so much, folks. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It's down there. Then we can notify you. That's it. If you've got any questions after the show, put them in the comments below me. I'll do my best to answer them. And of course, don't forget to come over to our website, cheapskatesclub.net, and have a look around, sign up for the newsletter. And if you're a member, log in and take advantage of your membership. Okay, bye. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you again next Tuesday. Oh, and have a happy Easter, everyone.